So let us know what is vocation. Before we know the definition of vocation, let us know what is an occupation. An occupation, it is an activity that is undertaken by any person to earn his or her livelihood. Money is very important. Livelihood is very, very important. And vocation is, it is an occupation to which, anyway, say, I am interested, or I am trained, or I am qualified, it becomes a vocation. So it goes by different names, by profession, by job, by careers. In spinal cord injury, when we discuss disability, many of the hobbies, we try to convert it to a job or an occupation. And that's why there is a role of hobbies, leisure activities in the rehabilitation of the spinal cord injury. So this is the philosophy of rehabilitation. Before this, I want to say, there are people who are doing arthroscopy and thinking that arthroscopy is a sports medicine. There are people who are doing concentrated pain medicine thinking that this is PMR. So that they have removed PM remains pain medicine and R is not there. So we are now, the trend is such that we are going away from rehabilitation. So the philosophy, by definition, it was combined and coordinated effort of a team to restore physical, psychological, financial impairment and social impairment. We have done enough. We are trying to do best in physical impairment. We are not doing enough for psychological impairment. We are not doing anything about the financial impairment and social impairment. I don't mean that nowhere it is done, but some of the centers like CMC Baylor, I have been there, I have experienced that something is done on social as well as financial impairment. So once the vocational rehabilitation is in place, probably it will solve both the financial impairment and social impairment. So this is a very important issue. We are not doing much on this financial impairment, social impairment. Resultantly, we are not doing rehabilitation. So this International Disability Year 2000 theme is very, very important. There is a word, very serious word, that is to rescue. To rescue and achieve sustainable goals. This is like something has gone wrong somewhere, we need to do something more. So, important thing about the vocation, Sir Ludwig Guttmann is pioneer in the rehabilitation of spinal cord injury. He said, okay, returning to the useful life is very, very important, getting benefit from the physical condition, mental outlook. But most important is employment is essential to human happiness. So this is disability monetization. This employment become a very important part of the rehabilitation. So just like we have 4 impairments in rehab, to be fulfilled, we have in vocational rehab. This is my idea only. This is what I put. I see this way. So to me, I feel that cognitive, good cognitive activities, good motivation is important to me to have vocational rehabilitation done. Hand is again very, very important. Maybe less function, some functional, fully functional. Mobility become very, very important to me. Okay, mobility with or without wheelchair or with assistive devices. Okay, workplace again become very, very challenging and may not be, okay, we may have to modify at times depending upon the requirement, depending upon the type of the disability. And most important, and I am not leaving this one, the support system must be very good. Of this to me, the head is important, mobility is important, and support system I will give more emphasis. So when we usually ask, like there were one conference when we were actually in a foreign country, then we asked, tell some success story. So I was thinking, what is that? So like when I joined AIIMS, there was one patient. This fellow is Arvind Dutt. Many of us, Arvind Dutt Abdali. He was a major at that time. He was paraplegic, these 7 paraplegic. He married, after his injury, he married one of our sisters in AIIMS, Lakshmi, and they adopted one girl. And he was mobilized by modifying the Maruti car at that time. Then he was freely mobilized by using a wheelchair. He continued his job in the BSF, and later he was looking after the IT cell. Later on, he became commandant also. So that was one such story I come across in AIIMS. I was very proud of telling that. Another one was, I want to mention because she was very proud of AIIMS Minu. One Minu Sethi was also there. She became paralyzed on the next day of the marriage. She suffered from Guillain-Barré syndrome. So husband brought her like this, and but with the support of the husband, then motivation, this lady, she became one of the finest trade. She was successful in trade. She's very successful. So such were the success story. So we must, I have a doubt, many of us have that success story because we end up somewhere without completing the whole rehab program. So next is that another patient is my patient. I am not proud of this anyway, this is a team effort. So he was a Sunday school pass out, he graduated engineering, but again he was shift 5 tetraplegic, he married after the accident, adopted a boy, dependent for mobility almost to his wife. But we tried to fix the reach, and he had training in computer with orthosis and work from home. And he has been running a very successful drinking water supply chain in Manipur. So few success stories like that also. So I want all the junior colleagues to try work hard, at least take up 1 or 2 patients to have this success story. Then we say you become a physiatrist. Otherwise you remain a pain medicine specialist. So return to work after spinal cord injury. So status goes up to 50%. And 12% return to the same job. This is from the Economics Journal. And one successful story I have come across, that is about the Ted Rummel. He is an orthopedic surgeon in Missouri, USA. So he had suffered from this spinal cord injury. He continued doing orthopedic surgery by using a standing wheelchair. He is still continuing. He is continuing his activities in US. So we have our own these publications, and I'm happy to tell you that 41% employment rate is really high rate in India, but unfortunately study was done in the army setup. So I want to tell you about now everything about the functional levels have been told. So I am very clear that above below T1 everything become clear, transparent, everything become okay. I am not repeating again. So this is very important for us to know. There are modifiable and non-modifiable factors to lead to spinal cord injury. There are some let me start with non-modifiable, like age at injury, younger is better. At injury, age of the person, younger is better. At injury, younger is better. Sex, gender, male is better. Pre-injury education becomes so important. So then etiology, traumatic has got better answer. Pre-injury, time since injury, okay, longer is better. Time period after injury, there are so many things, but like I want to say that about mobility, I am giving more emphasis on mobility, that able to drive, able to live alone, functional independence, mobility. So this has got very positive influence on the returning to activity. Some of the facilitators are the lack of environmental factors, architectural barrier, least architectural barrier. So when spoken, when assistive device technology is so advanced, there is no worry about like disability now. Actually, everything is possible now. Almost everything is possible with technology. Then social support, good vocational rehabilitation. Then barriers, we have inaccessibility is another barrier. Disability, discrimination is another barrier. Lack of financial assistance is also another big issue. So there are very good booklets from the spinal cord medicine. So this is for the guidelines for the patients. Depending on the levels, they know what are their limitations, what they could achieve. These are the booklets available for the patients. So see, vocational rehabilitation was very advanced from the very beginning, ever since Second World War. These are some of the like posters they put for the army and the air forces. So predictors of the return to work after SCI: younger age, male gender, educational level, pre-injury and post-injury, severity injury, paraplegia has better recovery chances, complication following injury, when less complication, better chances, employed before injury, again better chances for return to work. So while social support is good, most important is very high motivational level of the person. So when we talk about vocational rehabilitation, what is this? Vocational rehabilitation is also a part of the comprehensive rehabilitation program. And by using the residual and intellectual capacities of the person, he or she is able to overcome barriers in accessing. So that means after the barrier, and if he can or she can maintain employment, return to the employment, or he can join other useful occupation that comes under vocational rehabilitation. It is not necessary that he should come to the same occupation. He can change it depending on his assets. So why it is important for the SCI patient? To me, financial, health and social security is the best reason to do vocational rehab so far as the Indian context is concerned to me. But there are many others, because once you are successfully rehabilitated, identify the person. This is identity of person. He has social status or of the job security, social security, feelings of the well, self-worthy, integration to the society. This is another important issue for the definition of the rehabilitation. So altogether with positive social and psychological consequences of the employment. So theme is very big. All rehab theme is they have theme of the vocational rehabilitation. In addition, vocational counselor, skilled trainers, placement officers. These are a few things. What are the primary goals? Primary goal is to prepare for employment and through that to obtain a gainful employment. So there are 21 vocational rehabilitation centers in India, and only 7 skill training workshops. And we can learn something, what is going on there, then we can learn some idea about what is going on in vocational rehab. So what are the services rendered by VRC in India? First and the foremost important thing is interview and evaluation about the abilities, aptitude, skills of the person. This is the most important step in any vocational rehabilitation. Then after that, they assess the residual capacity, the attributes that is already there with the patient, and the functional skills. And the testing person on job capabilities in different trades. I'll be showing you the trades where there are only 16 trades that is being trained at the moment of time. Then imparting workshop training assistance with assistance. So then they also impart this VRCs impart training on module-based vocational training. This is mostly module-based in this. Then they also sponsor or assist in getting jobs, and for training also, for getting jobs also. So these are the different trades. So far there are 16, many more may be added, but there is no limit of trades. Anything can be trade. Once you can monetize that, you can convert it into a trade. So anything anything you can do it depending upon the interest of the person. So these are the trades available. So there are many more available. I'm not going to say that. So generally, there are 4 stages of the vocational rehabilitation. As I have mentioned, as in case of the VRC, initial evaluation is the most important part. Our decision success decided by the good evaluator. Then the pre-vocational exploration. This is more of a training, by simulated environment or real environments. And next is the placement. Job, we seek job and with an intention to place. And a follow-up, everything ends with a follow-up after placement. So there are few tests that we do whether the person will be suited for vocational rehab. Some of the tests that I mentioned here about intelligence, about the vocational aptitude, about the vocational interest. So there are these are the standard tests is done at the time of the evaluation, and there are few general aptitude tests, battery, GAPTB, and it tests 9 abilities by doing 12 tests. These are the commonly used tests before entering the vocational rehabilitation, while during evaluation and training. So in short, stages of vocational rehabilitation, this is Indian version. I have copied the version of Indian version from one of my senior colleague, Dr. Sundar. So he made it as so simplified, so I am interested to reproduce it here. It is his idea. So evaluation, what is being evaluated? This is the most important part. We see here the level of the spinal cord injury. Is it higher or lower? Is it complete or incomplete? Is there any associated neuropathic bladder or bowel, sparsity, pressure injury, medical comorbidities? We also give importance in hand function. Is it normal, subnormal, limited function, no function? In mobility, independent, with or without wheelchair, dependent with minimal, moderate or maximum assistance. Mobility component hand function I said is very important. Other function, cognitive function, I have given more emphasis. So these are assessed by using these tests given above. Employed, already employed in government or non-governmental setting, or unemployed or self-employed before the injury. Hobbies I have given emphasis on that. Many hobbies become a job and occupation later on. That's why we give lots of emphasis if the person is not going to come back to the original employment. So please don't forget to ask about what do you do in the leisure activities. Hobbies can be monetized. We should not forget that. So then we ask about the formal, non-formal, before or after the injury, readiness to continue the career-oriented. This is another important is the person should be ready to continue career-oriented academic pursuit after the spinal cord injury. Now the day of the computer, Saradip also mentioned too much about the computer and IT. So now once this knowledge is imbibed, probably nobody will remain unemployed because of this computer and IT. Knowledgeable expert professional, family support, especially in both the cases, first case and second case, as I have mentioned, both were actually, they were literate, they were intelligent, they were motivated, and both of them married after the injury. And they have a very good support system. That was very important thing in the success of the rehabilitation. And they are so motivated that one continued as measure, that become commandant. Another becomes successful like that. But both of them, two important things, similarity is they have a very good wife. That is very supportive. Then, setting, royalties, skill, personal is emotional stability become very, very important because this is being challenged very often by the disability. Motivation to the highest level is important to return. Learning capability, somebody, they are not interested to learn, but once they have learning capability, they can be trained vocationally to many other aspects. And the socio-economic status from the very beginning become very, very important in Indian setup. So next stage is for learning for training of the individual spinal cord. We need to decide whether he can return to if he was doing a job, can he or she return to the original job? If yes, do we need any environmental modification? Because it is not that they can just come back and do the same thing. No, we need to modify. So with the change of the environment, do we need additional skill if they are coming back to the original job? This must be considered if they are coming back. If he is not coming back to the original job, the current skills that can be transported to another job. So a similar job. So that is another issue. If not allowed possible, can we develop skills where he has interest, like hobbies that we have discussed. So skill development we use a trainer, we use a vocational counselor. This is to continue the original job or taking up, if not the original job, taking up an allied job similar to the original job or taking up a new job that is being done in this stage. So placement through vocational counselor. So we try to identify, this says 4, we try to identify a suitable job, but that should align the skill and interest of the person. We should not give some job which is where he has no interest, where he has no skill. So this is not to be done, and the vocational counselor plays their duties to liaising with the government, with the industries, with the commercial circles, and they collaborate with the employees, advocating for workplace accommodation, ensuring supportive work style. But like many of the training, like interpersonal communications, all those job activities were trained in this therapy. Working from home, it become very popular starting from the COVID time. Then it has become so successful. It has been a boon for the disabled persons now. Everybody can work from home now. So that is another one. As a leader, he may do his own business, or he may be a staff, or he may be for outsourced business activities, he may be one of the staff. So the model of the employment, how do they come back? Stage 4, how do they come back? Where do they come back? First model is they may come back to open employment where they challenge with able persons. Okay, then they are as good as fit as the other person. They can come to the open employment. Self-employment means they employ themselves in business. They do their own business. Cooperative form, a person with disabilities combine and form a common cooperative, and they earn money through them and distribute among themselves. Shelter also, it was not very, actually it was forgotten by many, but it has become so important to train the persons with disability to come back to normal skill or semi-skill works. So home-based employment, as I said, it has become very important now, and many of the activities can be done from home because of the advancement in IT. And disabled, in the service of disabled, many disabled persons are employed as orthosis processes, just like in SMS Jaipur. We have seen PKCT's area. I saw many disabled persons, amputees being a part of the technicians and all. So they are very empathetic, and they do their service better than any other person because they know, they understand the problem of the persons, and they do better. So these are the possible models of the employment while coming back from the injury. So this I have overemphasized on the role of computer and assisted technology. It is fast-changing trend increasing employability of the disabled person, including spinal cord injury. So computer adaptations, as Sir Yadav also mentioned about it, maybe in hardware that he has modified the keys, control boards, all others, he modified softwares. And in my case, that time 2012, I utilized the voice command. That time I started and the orthosis also for that person. And telecommuting, that become very, very important now. You do work from home, from the comfort zone of the home. Then you use internet, you connect with your emails by the telephone, then you do your job, then you become very successful. So advancement of technology, many also jobs may be done from home, IT, BPO, telecalling and service sectors. So the last word is today's employment market has been dominated, previously it was dominated by manufacturing job. Now employment market has been dominated by service and information providers. Now it has got, therefore computer has got a good role now. So center workshop I have mentioned, now it has come, now it is part of the treatment program. So it is used as in the pre-vocational evaluation, and it provides unskilled, semi-skilled, even skilled works with remunerations are given. So this is a good place to to start seeing. But most important is here there is an evaluation and diagnosis of interpersonal relationship, underutilization of the abilities, assessment to work pressures. These are seen and corrected in the shelter workshops. Thank you. So these are so no activity is enough. We say we have done it. No, rehabilitation is a continuous process. So there must be a follow-up because he may improve or person may be worsen. So we need changes in time. So there are few legislation and schemes available for the disabled persons. So reserve 1% of the physical disabled person in group A, B, C, D positions in government public sectors. Age relaxation 10 years in recruitment and government positions. No denial of promotion on account of disability or medical fitness if it can be discharged their duty satisfactory. There are many jobs are identified now in many of the offices for the PWDs. 7.5% of dealership agencies for public sector oil companies for PWD. Loans for PWDs without interest for self-employment by National Handicap Finance and Development Corporation. So what we have seen now, I have seen many patients who are resettled or re-employed in my place, Manipur. But resettlement especially is possible only in government sectors and especially some of the companies only. But what happened, what I have experienced is that resettlement is done as a sympathy that destroy the definition of the rehabilitation. This is not rehabilitation, through sympathy. So that is what is going on. It is not through the credibility of the person. So that they will destroy. This will be a part of the rehabilitation program. So make sure that whenever you meet somebody, as Sir Lurid Gatman said, employment is important part of the rehabilitation. Make sure that we do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
सर थोड़ा सा लाइट आ रहा है हाँ बस पकड़ो के सर
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
सर प्लीज